absolutely ridiculous, and let's talk about how ridiculous it is.
Angel Reese is facing heavy criticism from experts after being caught up in one controversy after another. Honestly, what does she think? That she's the WNBA's royalty and everyone owes her respect? The truth is what fans have been pointing out for a long time. She's been overprotected by the league despite not living up to the hype.
Yeah.
Yep,
she is the worst fucking basketball player.
The biased officials in this pathetic excuse for a league have always protected her, turning a blind eye to her fouls and outrageous behavior.
And what did they get for it? Betrayal.
She resorted to steroids, and now the entire sports world is calling her out.
What you put in, and right now, you are getting exactly what you deserve.
And as if that wasn't already too much, she shows up dressed like she's chasing controversy, then plays the "I'm being sexualized" card. When that storyline got old, she suddenly tried to pin her failed European contract on Caitlin Clark. At this point, are we watching basketball or some bizarre reality show?
I think Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark. She thinks she's, the reason why this is all happening here.
Angel Reese, the former golden girl of the WNBA, has completely fallen apart in the most embarrassing way imaginable. How do you go from being a 2024 All-Star to becoming a walking meme almost overnight? She wasn't expected to be just another solid player. She was supposed to represent the future of the league. Instead, she's turned into the biggest punchline in women's sports. Actually, scratch that. The biggest joke in sports, period.
Reese told her lonely male followers, hating pays too. Translation, I need attention. Translation, I need money. Translation, nothing about me is authentic.
Here's someone who spent months complaining to the media about being sexualized, only to make the most hypocritical move imaginable. Her Instagram, where she flaunts herself to over 2 million followers, has basically become a non-stop thirst trap, yet she acts surprised when no one takes her seriously. The obsession with attention couldn't be more obvious. Really, Angel? You protest objectification while posting half-dressed photos and expect people not to notice the contradiction? The double standards are glaring. And instead of reflecting on it, she does the unthinkable. She walks away from basketball, the one thing keeping her relevant, and dives straight into adult entertainment.
Let that sink in.
The same Angel Reese who set a double-doubles record in 2024, the same All-Star, now reduced to chasing cheap headlines in the most humiliating way possible. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks.
But when the entitled complaints are coming from Angel Reese, it makes news throughout the mainstream media.
The WNBA had no choice but to cut her loose, and honestly, who can blame them? She went from a potential legend to a full-blown disaster, dragging down not only her own reputation but the league's as well. At this point, she's become more of a sideshow than an athlete, a living warning of what happens when ego and a craving for attention take over. Instead of being celebrated for her skill on the court, she'll be remembered as the player who self-destructed and couldn't get out of her own way.
Angel Reese comes out and says, she ain't the only one everybody's watching. They're watching me too, they're watching.
Fans are tearing her apart. And honestly, she's earned every bit of it. Social media is flooded with people calling her a hypocrite, a sellout, and a joke. The player once hyped as the WNBA's future has become nothing more than a punchline. The memes won't stop, and the sad part is, she brought this downfall on herself. This isn't just a stumble, it's a career meltdown of epic scale.
Sure, not all the drama was her fault, but plenty of it was.
Even the experts who once respected her are fed up. Analysts and commentators are now calling her the league's biggest disappointment ever. And they are not wrong. Her fall from grace has been devastating, yet Reese seems completely unaware. She's still out there parading around like she's a celebrity, when in reality her legacy is in shambles. It's as if she believes any kind of attention is good attention.
Be the big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain.
Just when it seemed like her career was already on life support, the steroid scandal became the final blow that sent her crashing into oblivion. Getting caught using EPO and anabolic steroids. Seriously, what a brilliant move. And she wasn't even slick about it. Her desperation was obvious from miles away. The Chicago Sky wasted no time dropping her, and the WNBA tossed her aside like yesterday's garbage. This so-called star who was supposed to elevate the team? Now she's nothing but the league's biggest punchline. Sure, her aggression and drama brought some attention, but she couldn't keep up where it mattered. And when a player can't cut it, what do? Apparently, she thought steroids were the answer. Except even juiced up, she still stumbled around the court like a joke. How do you cheat and still fail? It's almost like fate was trying to humble her, but she refused to take the hint. Analysts like Stephen A. Smith and Patrick Bet-David ripped her apart, and rightfully so. They nailed it. Instead of grinding like a real athlete, she looked for shortcuts. She chose the coward's path, and now she's paying the price.
So human, like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here.
The Chicago Sky's team chemistry collapsed, friendships fractured, and their playoff hopes went up in flames, all because Reese couldn't deliver on the court and thought cheating was her golden ticket to success. Well, that ticket just got ripped up. The entire season spiraled into a disaster, courtesy of one selfish player's reckless decisions, and now the team is stuck trying to rebuild what could have been something great. To top it all off, Angel Reese had the audacity to go after Caitlin Clark's European contract, accusing her of, wait for it, chasing money.
Seriously, Angel? The irony is unreal.
You, drowning in scandals, throwing shade at someone who's actually dominating the game and shattering records?
The hypocrisy writes itself.
And now, the self-proclaimed villain has decided to go after the queen. Now, Angel Reese has decided to antagonize lonely grown women, many of which...
Reese's career has become nothing but a string of failures, yet she still had the audacity to take shots at Clark, a player who's actually making strides for the right reasons. Clark wasn't chasing a paycheck. She was escaping the toxic circus that Reese herself helped fuel in the WNBA. The fact that Reese thinks anyone is buying her sob story at this point is downright laughable.
Same Caitlin Clark that Angel Reese is desperately hanging on to for relevance. Same Caitlin Clark that Angel Reese is trying to create this one-sided rivalry with. A rivalry that no one cares about but Angel Reese herself.
And let's not overlook the hypocrisy, because Reese practically handed it to everyone on a silver platter. While still knee-deep in a steroid scandal that destroyed her career, she tried dragging down Clark, a player who's out here making history. It was nothing more than a desperate attempt to cling to relevance, throwing Clark's name into her mess to distract from her own failures. The jealousy is so blatant, it's downright embarrassing.
The national title. She didn't celebrate with her teammates. She mocked Caitlin Clark. So there's jealousy there. I certainly see that with her. I don't know about the lead.
While Clark was out there legitimately earning her headlines, Reese was busy throwing shade, trying to distract everyone from her steroid-fueled collapse. And then, of course, she had to escalate things by playing the race card. This time, she set her sights on Clark's fans in Indiana, accusing them of racism in a desperate attempt to flip the narrative. But here's the problem. Angel, nobody was buying it.
Not one person.
That excuse fell flat, and all people heard was empty noise. This wasn't about race or gender. It was about you refusing to face the reality of your own imploding career. Instead of taking responsibility for the steroid scandal, Reese doubled down on the drama, thinking it would shield her. It didn't. All it did was make her look like someone drowning in her own mess, pointing fingers at everyone but herself.
Threats, I've been sexualized, I've been threatened, I've been so many things, and
And then there were the tantrums. Oh, the tantrums. It felt like Angel Reese spent more time throwing fits than actually playing basketball. Every time Caitlin Clark grabbed the spotlight, Reese just couldn't handle it. She had meltdown after meltdown, each one more embarrassing than the last. And the wild part? It wasn't even about what Clark said or did. These outbursts were nothing more than Reese's way of trying to deflect from her own struggles. Her public meltdowns became more memorable than anything she did on the court. The breaking point came in a matchup against the Indiana Fever, when Reese, consumed with jealousy, lashed out and smacked Clark in the head. That's right, when she couldn't compete with Clark's talent, she resorted to cheap shots. It was the moment everyone realized she had completely lost control. And to make matters worse, she cheered on her teammate for shoving Clark, adding fuel to the chaos. At that point, Reese wasn't just humiliating herself, she was crossing into dangerous territory. Of course, it all backfired spectacularly. But instead of learning from any of it, Reese doubled down on the victim narrative, claiming she was being sexualized, targeted, and unfairly treated.
The problem? Nobody was buying it. Her act was worn out, and the entire world could see straight through it.
Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the...
While Reese was busy painting herself as the victim, Clark was out there proving what real talent and hard work look like. Every one of Reese's antics only highlighted just how far she's fallen, and no amount of self-pity was going to rewrite that reality. At this point, she's beyond saving. Her story should serve as a giant cautionary tale. Don't be like Angel Reese, or you'll become the punchline of the sports world. This wasn't just a small mistake. She threw away everything that truly mattered: her talent, her career, her reputation, all for a few Instagram likes and cheap attention.
Absolutely pathetic.